for three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer.
Going on, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Crunch Time Podcast. And today we have Jacob and Kaleb Lowrance. How we doing, my guys? It's been a minute.
What's up, brother?
What's going on?
Good, doing good.
Nothing. I figured we needed to get this episode after we text you guys the other day recently about the events within the NBA. And also, I think another quick little topic. I know we probably didn't mention this one, but yesterday, George Floyd's murderer got accused of all three counts. So I think that is in my opinion, a small step for America, I think, in a whole. I know it's probably a rough subject for some people. Don't really like to accept the fact, the past year that happened after he died. But hopefully this is a step towards a new beginning. I don't know what you guys think on that situation, but
it's justice was served in that particular case, but there's so many other cases where that wasn't the case, so it's a small step, but it's good to see it happen, and for hopefully some accountability in the future for future crimes of that manner.
Right. I saw kind of one of the best ways that I saw it put, and I saw a lot of people kind of going with the same sentiment, is that justice would be more that George Floyd was still alive. This was more accountability, and hopefully points things in the right way for accountability moving forward. And I think it's definitely a right step, but there's a lot of steps that need to be made still. So hopefully it kind of starts a pattern to where we see some changes made, and hopefully improve the state of the country overall for, our brothers and sisters everywhere. So
yes, sir.
Have you seen a lot, Kaleb, in North Dakota, since you're like pretty close to Minneapolis, like a lot of flyers and like stuff like signs for him? Because like I know, like when I visited Minneapolis a couple of months ago and recently, like that town is decorated all throughout, downtown, posters, every different neighborhood, gas stations. They got pictures, flyers, everything up.
To be honest with you, man, North Dakota is one of the most disappointing places in the country. It's people don't understand here, and I almost want to walk on eggshells, but I don't, because it's not right to walk on eggshells with what I'm saying. Like one of my best friends is a police officer, and I was talking the other day. He is literally the only police officer that I personally know in the country who automatically has like the right intent all the time, right? Unless I know you personally, like I know there are good police officers, but it's really hard to see like such bad things happening, right? Especially you see like a military person being abused the way that he was, and like you see everything happen with George Floyd. And then to be in a place like North Dakota, man, we had people legitimately had a White Lives Matter rally in Fargo. And it was one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen in my life. Like to see people like to see people care so little about other people in the world is unbelievable. And like it's so bad here, and like, man, it's hard because like I don't know, like we have friends who have gone through it. Like we talk about Mark a lot, right? Mark's a military kid, like never done anything wrong in his life, and he's a kid who legitimately has to like make sure he's on his shit all the time so nothing bad happens to him, right? He's a kid who wouldn't hurt anybody, wouldn't ever do anything wrong, and like he can't go into a store and walk out without being accused of stealing sometime, right? And it's just not right. And he's from a better upbringing, he has a better set of morals than a lot of people, and it's literally the color of his skin that's seen as a weapon. And until that changes, like you can't come at me with any all lives matter bullshit or anything like that, because all lives can't matter until those lives matter the same amount.
I feel that. I took a trip last year to Milwaukee with one of my buddies, Ridge, came visit him while he was up there for work. And that was probably the first time that I actually had seen racial profiling in an actual like one-on-one setting. Me and him, he was picking me up from the airport. Ended up coming back. We were driving over to his apartment in a small like suburb area out of Milwaukee. It was like very predominantly white. And he you know, at the time before he sold his car for work and stuff, he was driving a Chrysler 300, brand newer year, you know, all blacked out, looked really clean. You know, he worked hard for it. And we get pulled over, and this dude asked for his license and registration and mine too, so we give it to him. And the guy tries coming back saying his VIN number is not verifying and his license plate is illegal when he paid for a custom plate with his own initials on it, and tried to accuse him of stealing the car because it was, you know, it was a nicer Chrysler 300. And right there in that moment, I just kind of felt, in a sense, that, you know, it's finally the first time that I've been able to, you know, not just read or see, like, you know, see it happen over social media or all over the world. Like, I was actually like there to experience it. And like the energy that this like cop was giving at the time, like I had to keep my mouth shut because I didn't want to cause any problems. But, you know, after that, like I definitely like apologized to him and like told him, like, you know, you work hard. Like he works for GE, and he was working for GE as an intern, and like worked hard for his job. Obviously, like you said, better morals and stuff than most people. In like, just because of the color of his skin, he got racially profiled for stealing a vehicle when it was registered under his name with his own license plate. It's his initials. And it just like sucks to see, you know, like you said, I think it's hard to tell, you know, what good intentions people have. And it hates to see that, you know, in America right now and for all the future kids. And just hope that like all of this makes an impact for brothers and sisters in the future. Because like if not, like we're just gonna be stuck in our ways, and we're never gonna figure this problem out.
And I think the biggest thing is, right, so like change doesn't happen by like people of color speaking out, right? They've been speaking out for ever, right, since they've been here. Change doesn't happen by that being the case. Change happens when it's people like us who are willing to actually speak out and honestly go against, whether it's community members, like some of us may have family members who have different beliefs, like until it's basically middle class white people who are speaking out against it, like people aren't going to listen. And that's the thing, is nobody can sit there and be like, well, it's not affecting me, so why do I care? Because it doesn't have to affect you for you to see an issue, right? If you can't see an issue, I have a legitimate question as to how you don't think something's wrong. So it has to start being people of our color, it has to be white people speaking out against it. Because I mean, people of color have been speaking out since they've been in America, and not enough changes happen. So it has to come from others to kind of pick them up and carry them along.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Kyle Korver said whenever a lot of the social justice movements were starting up, you know, like a year or so
talking
ago,
about the bubble when it was happening.
yeah. And he said, you know, like as a white man, especially being in the NBA where it's a predominantly black league, like he's like, I just gotta figure out where I don't know what I should do, but like I want to help, you know. I think he was saying something along those lines. Like I'll never understand it, or I'll never be able to like actually know what they're going through, but I need to know how I can, you know, help and be as of assistance to that movement. And you had like him saying that, and then you have like on the whole other end of the spectrum, like Drew Brees, like, oh, I'll never support anybody disrespecting our flag. And I'm just like, Drew, you don't get the point, man. And so, but you know, you hope that people learn from that, and you know, it's like it sucks to see some people in a certain state of mind, but I mean, people can change, and you hope that. I feel like I've seen more people change that, you know, I didn't expect to, you know, care about any of this. And I've seen some people, you know, speak out on it and stuff. So it's good to see people change and see that some people's mindsets are, you know, changing for the good.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like in a sense that it's more or less not always being the one to speak up, but asking those fellow, you know, brothers and sisters of, you know, other color, what can we do to help? Like, what can I do to understand? You know, I have a lot of those conversations with some of my closest friends who aren't white, and I try to do my best to understand. Like you said, I'm never going to know what anybody's going through because I've never been discriminated, never had that issue, never had to worry about my life, like being in danger like that. But in a sense, figuring out the best way to support them, because not everybody wants to be supported by you posting things about other like matters that matter to them, or posting, about other issues within social justice. It's more of the just doing your best to be there for them, being a person to listen, or being the person to speak out and try to help hold others accountable. And I think that everybody needs to take that into consideration, because white people have had it very good for a long time. We go into the situation where we think our shit doesn't stink and we deserve everything that we get. And it's not like that. Everybody deserves equal opportunity. Everybody, deserves a chance to live the best life that they can. And I think that that is something that needs to be more accounted for with other people. And that's even holding you guys accountable. Like if something was ever out of line. And I think a lot of people don't understand that either. Like you said, Caleb, if it doesn't pertain to me, then why does it matter? Would you want to be in that situation where somebody comes up to you, disrespects you just because of your race or your color, or disrespect you in a sense to where you didn't do anything but be born and people treat you misfairly, like mistreated? And I hate how that feels for other people, and I hate to see it. And so I think that it definitely is a topic of conversation that may be uncomfortable, but people need to have more often than not.
Yeah, until it gets from the people saying it doesn't affect me, so why should it matter, to those same people at least having conversations, there's not enough change, right? And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be everyone speaking out. Like, yes, speaking out can make an impact, but like people voting, people like having conversations with people that they know, like having conversations is a big part, right? I get that people aren't always comfortable speaking out and like making their voice heard, but like sometimes you have to speak for those who don't have a voice, and at some point it just has to change, and there's a certain place where it has to start from, and it's people who look like us and are around the same lifestyle as us. Like that's where it has to change at.
So y'all want to get into the other stuff now?
Yes, sir. So no, I appreciate y'all talking about that. I just wanted to bring it up kind of spur of the moment. Figured it was something that needed to be talked about. So into the NBA regular season. I mentioned to you guys the other day, texted you about talking about Steph Curry after the other night. He ended up, having another outstanding game against the 76ers. So a couple little stats. He's had 6 games this season with plus 10 3-pointers. He's had 4 in the last 8 days. 4 in the last 8 days. 21 total in his career. And no other player in NBA history has had more than 5 total in their career. How has, obviously we know he's impacted the game, but to shoot at the percentage he's shooting at, I think it's something that we've never really seen before. I think he's kind of having a impact on the game that maybe not a lot of people understand, that has like changed the NBA forever. And I think it will forever be utilized or revolved around the 3-point shot now. But just kind of want to get your guys' opinion on, the way he's been playing this last late stretch.
I think with Steph 1, he might go down as the greatest point guard ever to play the game. I mean, that's a possibility that we've got to start realizing now, that there's a large chance that he could go down as that. I mean, he's only, how old is he? Let's look.
I think
he's
32.
only 32 years old. So, I mean, he's kind of right on the edge of his prime. I mean, so he's still got years to go. I think he plays till he's at least, 37, 38. We could look at him going down as the greatest of all time. He's already solidified himself as the greatest shooter of all time.
Without
hands
a
down,
doubt.
no questions asked, can do it in every way possible. And then the things that he's doing this year after coming off, a year where he had a bunch of injuries and, their team really performed very poorly, and he comes out this year and has the year that he has. I was a little surprised, but I really shouldn't have been, coming from a 2-time MVP, first unanimous MVP, a guy that completely changed the landscape of the game and how it's played. So I shouldn't be surprised, but I was. And now with this stretch that he's having right now is just unreal. I think I saw that he's averaging like I saw a tweet that he's averaging like 40 points in like his last 11 games. This might have been a couple of days ago, so it might be different now, but he was averaging like 11 game stretch, 40 points. He had made like 78 threes in like 11 games or something like that. And that's just ignorant. It was like in those games he had made more threes than like 6 other NBA teams, like the whole team had made. And I was like, what the fuck? Like that's just high volume and a high level of efficiency that I don't think we'll ever see again.
I'll say this, and I might take some slack for it, but I don't. In my mind right now, this makes complete sense. In our lifetime, at least, all right, in our lifetime, at least, Steph Curry has changed the game of basketball more than any other player that we've ever seen, right? More than Michael Jordan, more than LeBron. I'm talking change the game of basketball. Not a better basketball player, but has more of an impact in changing the game, right? Because Jordan came in and LeBron came in, like, for all intents and purposes, they're the same player, right? A really good athlete, like really good scorer. But like to have someone who is point guard size, right? Not
Undersized,
big,
for sure. Undersized,
right,
like 6'2",
not a
maybe
big
6'3".
point guard. Like, think about when you were a kid. Who was your favorite player? Like, probably LeBron or Michael Jordan or Kobe. Like, not to tell me how relatable Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or whatever is to you. He's just not, like, right? But when you see, like, you ask a bunch of middle school kids, especially over the last 6 years, who their favorite player is, it's Steph Curry. And the reason being, like, in their mind, they can be Steph Curry, right? They can never be LeBron James, but they can be Steph Curry if they work on their handle and they get to be good shooters. They learn how to play in space. Like, they can see themselves finishing over bigger guys. And like their whole life, any point guard who's been a smaller kid has been told, like, oh, you're too small to play in the NBA, right? Now, Steph isn't like tiny by any means, but he's an undersized guard, right? Or average size guard, and who has found an amazing amount of success in the NBA doing it significantly differently than anyone has before. You've seen really good shooters before, but not those who shoot at the same efficiency and volume level, right? Because Ray Allen is, I mean, catch and shoot, probably the best shooter we've ever seen, right? But he's not coming off of screens, getting double teamed, stepping back and shooting a three and just wetting it from the freaking volleyball line for like all intents and purposes. Like, this is not happening. So the way he's changed the game has probably had the biggest impact on the game of basketball, because you see now to where, I mean, it's all threes and all layups. Like, you're not getting mid-range game where is like, that's what dominated the game of basketball in the 90s and stuff. And now if you take a mid-range jumper, like, it's phasing DeMar DeRozan out of the game of basketball because he can't shoot threes. He can only shoot mid-range.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
To put it into perspective, like, Steve Kerr has the best 3-point percentage ever, right? Like, for a career, he shot 45%, right?
Seth Curry's got number 2 still, right?
No, Seth is 4. So Seth is 4. So it goes like Steve Kerr, Hubert Davis, Drazen Petrovic, Seth, Joe Harris, then Stephen Curry, right? In the next, like, so Steve Kerr, for his career, he took 1.8 threes per game and shot 45%. And okay, you're thinking, okay, 45% is still pretty good. And then you look at Seth, who's taken the second most behind Steph, and he's take 4.1 per game, right? Okay, 4.1 on a 43.7% clip. That's pretty good, right? And then you look at Steph, and Steph's taken 8.5 per game. He's doubled everybody else's. The next closest above him, he's doubled their attempts per game, and he's shooting 43.4%. This season, he's attempting 12 3-pointers a game, shooting 43% from three on 12 attempts per game. Like, that's unreal. Like, I wish I could shoot like that.
Well, what makes the difference to me too is if we're being honest, all said and done, Steph's greatest shooter of all time. So number 2, in my opinion, is Ray Allen, right? I think we could all agree Ray Allen is number 2 all time. If not, that's up for debate. But Ray Allen, if he is considered arguably, well, with record rise, career made 3-pointers, Ray Allen's number 2. He is tied at 48 for career percentage at 40.02. Like, that is ridiculous. And he is second all time in made. And then you take into account Steph, I was looking at his stats. If you take out his ankle problems he had, I know in 2011, 2012, he only played 26 games. And then, he played 51 in 2017, 2018, and he only played 5 last year. Who even knows, like, if he was healthy through all those ankle problems that he's had throughout his career, like what he would be at now with his range and stuff. And like you said, Caleb, I think a lot of people can relate more to Steph. Like, and I think, the early 70s, Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem had the game. They made it harder for them to succeed and dominate as well as they did. Then you move into the 80s and the 90s with MJ and Magic, and then LeBron thrived with Kobe in the 2000s, and now Steph Curry is the idol kid for everybody. Like, I think I still, bask in like LeBron and like all those great athletes, KD and all those, but for everybody younger than me, it's Steph Curry, especially what he's done with his recent playoff success when he started winning MVPs, winning titles. And not only that, but for this season, he is averaging 12.1 3-pointers per game, and he is still shooting a average of 43.1%.
Yep.
43. And that is still probably like top 10 in NBA in 3-point percentage based on probably amount of attempts. And he's shooting almost 13 a game. That is unreal.
He has absolutely just changed how the game is played. And I think the thing that makes him more impressive than those other guys too, like the Ray Allens, the Reggie Millers of the world, the Steve Kerrs, is that he's taken them from like steps and feet off the 3-point line, and he's pulling them from deep on a regular, consistent basis. Out of those 12 attempts, like, he might have 5 or 6 of them that are from 3, 4, 5 feet past the 3-point line. So he's not even taking normal threes. His feet aren't on the line on the majority of his threes. I think that's the other thing that you got to take into accountability when measuring him. And like, I used to kind of be like a Steph hater, and I don't know, just because like he almost looked like a snot-nosed kid or something out there playing, and I was like, I used to hate on him a little bit.
I'm about to address this too.
But now it's like, but now I can't just help but just sit back and watch. But I used to be the same way with LeBron. Like when I was younger, I remember everybody loved LeBron and Kobe like in middle school because Kobe was still dominant. He was still winning finals, and it was either you liked Kobe, you're like, oh, who do you think is better, Kobe or LeBron? Like, who do you like better, Kobe or LeBron? And for me, it was always like neither. Like, I don't fuck with either one of them. Like, I was just like a hater. I don't know why.
You a big Tim Duncan fan. You love Timmy too much.
I was just a hater. And then like as I grew, I was like, and it became more of a basketball player myself. I had to just sit back and watch greatness and just respect it. And like, that's why I'm a pretty big LeBron guy now, just because I can't even fathom what he's doing at the age of 36, like damn near 40. I can't even believe it.
Here's what I'll say, right? Because this needs to be addressed. Like, there's some guys in the league, like, I get how you don't like them, right? Because they might be dickheads or like be just doing nonsense on all the time. Bro, tell me something bad Steph Curry's ever done, bro. Like, he literally just a kid out there having fun. Like, okay, so he just having fun, bro. So like, you telling me
I used to hate that.
You're telling me, right? And everybody be like, he chew on his mouthpiece too much. Who gives a fuck, bro? Dude just having fun. Like, he just out there having fun.
That shit.
We forget, right? The same people talking like, oh, Steph Curry think he cool, bro. He always be just chewing on his mouthpiece, shimmying. Oh, he's stupid. He just throw everything up. Oh, what were they doing when Davidson was making that run to the Elite Eight? They was riding Steph Curry so hard, they didn't even know what was going on. But then the second he get to the league, no pause. That's what they was doing. And then the second he gets to the league, has some success and starts having fun with it or continues having fun with it, everybody want to be like, Steph Curry don't got no respect for the game. Bullshit. Get out of here. Miss me with that. I
don't even care about respect to the game, but the crazy thing is I was rooting for them. So when they won in 2015 they won it, right? And then 2016
talking about the first year they won? You talking about the
first year they won it? KD going there. It ain't Steph's fault. KD went there.
No. I'm saying this. The first year they won, I was rooting for them heavy because I was still a little bit on like the LeBron hate train. And then I saw what LeBron did with all of his other good players out. And I was like, okay, this man's really a demon. He's really the greatest of all time. That solidified it for me right there. And then he comes out in the finals the next year. And I was like, I'm rooting for Bron because he's the underdog now. Like they've got the best team ever, you know. Like I gotta root for Bron. And then Bron goes in there, does what he does, gets the dub, comes back from down 3-1. And at that point, I was like, it's over with. LeBron's the greatest of all time. And, you know, he whooped Steph's shit. He's like, give me that shit, bitch. And I was like, yeah, give me that shit,
Bro,
bitch. And I
this
think
ain't
that
a
kind of made me like
fucking
dislike
LeBron
Steph
segment.
for.
We get it. LeBron's the best player ever. That's
I
not.
think that no, I'm just saying that I think that's what made me like not like Steph or something, because it was almost after he won that first ring. Like, first of all, he was the first unanimous MVP. He probably shouldn't have been the first unanimous MVP, because if people was really voting on the most valuable player every year, LeBron should win it every year because he's
That's
the most
also
valuable player on
not,
every team
that's
he's
also
on.
not his fault.
That or
It's not
also
his fault, but I'm
Shaq.
saying-
That or Shaq.
I'm just
Shaq
saying
should
that-
have won two
Facts.
unanimous.
Talk
He
your
was
shit,
like,
boy.
I think he lost
Talk your
like
shit.
by 2 votes, or one person voted for him non-unanimous.
I'm just saying, like, that's just kind of how the root of my,
No, I
my
agree with
dislike
you.
for Steph Curry
That's
came
how it
from.
would
And
be in
then,
every but that's it is that you just know that that's not how MVPs work, bro. Because if that was the
but I
case,
love Steph now.
no, hang on, because that would be the case if any year from the time basically LeBron or Michael Jordan started till the time they finished, they would have been MVP if that's how MVP was established. But that just
Yeah,
ain't
they
the way it
should've
works,
been.
and everybody and their mama knows that, bro. Just like
I don't know though. Jokic this year really might be the most valuable player on his
Shut up,
team,
bro.
though.
Hey,
Shut
we're
up.
getting into
He
that.
might
We
be.
ain't into that segment. You can't be jumping topics now.
He
Okay.
might be.
But so to piggyback off of all that, will we ever see anybody ever be like Steph Curry? I know like
No.
LeBron James is. I know LeBron
I think
James
we
is,
will.
and I think Michael Jordan's and Wilt Chamberlain's and Magic Johnson's are one dime a dozen and once in a generation. But now that Steph has changed shooting forever, like we said. But will there ever be anybody to shoot the ball and get close to Steph Curry in that 3-point record? Because he's probably going to blow that record out the water. He plays until 30, 36, 37, maybe even later, because his game doesn't need athleticism. He doesn't rely on it, so he could run off screens for the rest of his life. But he's going to blow Ray Allen out the water, I feel like, with that record. But, like, will anybody ever catch second place to Steph?
You're more likely to see another Steph Curry than you are to see another LeBron James. Like, that's just
Big facts.
I mean, like, because there's skill set and then there's just like basic human build, right? You're just
Like gifted, naturally
yeah,
gifted
right?
body.
Like
bodies.
6'9".
but we can't.
Go ahead.
We will see another 6'9" can run and jump like Bron. We see a couple of them in the league, but we won't see one with the skill set too as well.
Right? Yeah,
IQ.
development with it, right? So like,
Yeah.
like if you just take, I don't know, it's a weird way to put it, but like, if you just take skill set, right? Like Steph Curry has to be better at basketball than LeBron James does. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like
he's more.
yeah.
He's got to be more
Yeah.
skilled.
Yeah, he has to be. So like you'll just see somebody who comes along, works really hard, and just is really, really good. Like you forget, like Steph Curry also has NBA pedigree. It's not like he's just some random Joe Schmo off the streets. Like I don't know.
Talk about that family now,
Right.
especially with who has married into the family and stuff.
Right. Like you could get what's Buddy's name? His brother-in-law,
Damian Lee.
You get Damian Lee and Sadell Curry's kid going dummy at like soon. Like so that's like there could possibly be another Steph Curry,
You
but
think
I think
you think he's in the league just because Steph? I'm sorry.
he got his shot for because of Steph. That's
I think he got a shot because of Steph. I think got a
But
shot because of Steph, but
he
he's
stayed around.
got a lot better. He's pretty
He
good
stayed
this year,
around
bro.
'cause of
He's been
himself.
hooping this year.
So you think Austin Rivers getting signed to a team because of Doc, or because he's now married into, or because Seth Curry? You think Seth Curry got traded to Philadelphia because he's a Curry, or he's married to Doc Rivers' daughter?
I don't know, but you got to think of this. I was talking to somebody about this. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. I'm always trying to educate her on the sports stuff. You know, she don't always know. Bless her heart. Love you, Riley. I was telling her that, Seth Curry had a daughter with Callie Rivers, I think is her name, right? That's Doc Rivers' daughter name, Callie Rivers. And I was like, could you imagine being that kid and like the expectations put forth in front of you, especially if they have a son? Right now they have a daughter, right? And everybody's gonna be saying, "Oh, she's got to go to the WNBA." But especially if you have a son, imagine they have a son.
Steph's son, he is going to be expected to be great.
No, but listen. Imagine that. if you become Seth Curry and Cali Rivers' son, you have your uncle Austin as an NBA vet, played what 10+ years or something.
He
like,
ain't been played 10
played
yet, but he's
unreal
the
amount of
same year.
years.
He's
Who
the same.
knows how that shit? Who
He's
knows
the
how that
same
shit-
draft class as AD.
You got
so
your
he's
uncle.
probably
You got your uncle Steph, who is the greatest point guard of all time. You've got your uncle Damian, who was also in the NBA for multiple years. You've got your
He said was also in the NBA.
you've got your uncle, you've got your grandpa Dell, who is an NBA vet, and you got your grandpa Doc, who is an NBA vet.
and a coach.
Imagine that. Imagine the pressure put on that kid to make it to
Listen,
the
I gotta
league.
say though, as far as like pressure and like not putting it on, I think there can't be a better grandparent duo than Doc and Dale though. They seem like two of like the most like center people. They understand that like their grandparents, they're just there to have fun. Like their outlook on life seems to be great. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that would be some fun grandparents.
Let me just shout out Del Curry real quick though for being on the best broadcast squad in the NBA.
Is he on the Hornets
broadcast squad. He is. He's the color guy with I forget what the Hornets broadcaster's name is. Oh man, what's his name? Eric something or
the guy that been going crazy on the dunks lately with Miles
the guy
Bridges.
Goes, oh, Terry, two beauties. That guy, yeah. What's his name, bro?
Or he'd be like, Miles Bridges,
God.
hold on.
Eric Collins, that's his name. Eric Collins and Del Curry, the best. I think it's Del's with the best duo in the NBA for the regional announcers. And man, whenever he diddly dee, thank you, Miles Bridges. I'd be like, okay, talk that.
So let me pose this question here real quick: does Steph Curry retire a Warrior and finish out his career as a Warrior, or does he go to Charlotte to end his career because his dad played there?
He's gonna finish out the Warriors.
He's gonna be he's a Warrior for life. You damn near gonna see some Bill Self shit go on where he's a lifetime contract.
Lifetime contract out of nowhere.
I could see him finishing his career with the Warriors and them give him some ownership, maybe a percentage of ownership.
I see part of that, but at the same time, I do truly wonder because like Clay come back as Clay, they can compete again. But if Clay don't come back as Clay, do you trade him off and end the dynasty?
Let's talk though. Clay gonna be Clay now.
I mean,
Clay gonna be Clay, but defensive aspect.
On one hand, you got KD who comes back, averages 30 is fine. You know what I mean? But he only had the ACL. You look at DeMarcus Cousins, who had the exact same thing as Clay, right? He had the torn Achilles and then tore his ACL like recovering, basically, like still wasn't 100% towards ACL. You look at his numbers right before he tore his Achilles, he was going dummy with the Pelicans, and then he tears tears his Achilles and then his ACL, back to back.
Didn't even play with the Lakers.
He's a shell of himself right now,
He's playing on a 10-day contract with the Clippers. I hate to be like that because Boogie was my number one rated big in the league when he was with the Pelicans that year, right after he tore his stuff.
He was killing.
I would hate the thought of Klay Thompson not being good, though, bro. That just hurts me.
Oh, especially because that is arguably the best backcourt of all time. So if he's hurt, that ain't the same. Like it's just not the same anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I say that, but at the same time, it's like Klay's game isn't relying on his athleticism, and he's not like DeMarcus Cousins is what, probably 7 foot 280. Like you know what I mean? Like his body's gonna take a lot. His body's gonna take a lot to like carry around and like be reliant on his lower body a ton. Where Clay's more of a thinner guy. Like he's not super muscly or anything, and he's not that athletic. Like he did tear his shit trying to dunk though, didn't he? But like he don't really dunk the ball that much, and like he just runs around a lot. But at the same time, if he is a little hobbled, he might not be able to get around those screens and run around as much as he does. But and defensively, like you said, he's a first team all defensive type guy.
It's not even with the jump shot. That jump shot gonna stay natural, but in a sense of the defensive aspect, to be a first team all defensive guy and lock up every other person's best player, like KD don't have to rely on defense as much because he's 7 foot tall and he got a 7 foot whatever 4 wingspan. Like he don't need that. Like so KD can play good defense and be a good defensive player just by using his length. He ain't got to rely on being quick, being mobile. Like in a sense like that. But
Let's
I
look.
mean,
Boogie
obviously,
before he got hurt in New Orleans was averaging 25, 13, and 5.5 assists. And right now today he's averaging well, with the Clippers right now, he's averaging 5.5 points per game and 3 rebounds.
don't be telling me that, bro.
That's sad, bro.
That's
That's
tragic.
sad, bro.
I mean, it went from getting a guaranteed deal to a 10-day, which you hate to see that, but
Yeah, hate to see it.
so and the other thing is too, which I feel bad is so jumping into our next conversation, MVP discussion. Do you believe Steph Curry should be in MVP discussion?
I think he already is.
Well, the only reason why I question that is because I was looking the other day and technically they're going to make the play-in games. So he's technically, obviously he's done good and kept them afloat, but typically they do MVP based on who's carrying their team best in the regular season, like record-wise and stat-wise. And Steph's got the stats, but he doesn't have the record. They've had a lot of bad games this year.
Which I don't think it should always be the thing, I do like whenever they shouldn't give it to the worst team in the league, like because the dude's having a good season, because your stats are going to be boosted. Like, no offense to Brad Beal, love Brad Beal, St. Louis guy, but like because he's averaging 35. If he was still,
He's averaging 33 now.
today.
Steph's averaging 34.
Yeah, so like if he's still average, like if he's leading the league in scoring, and having great numbers, like he shouldn't be MVP just because like their team's garbage. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
at some point, it's kind of your stats are boosted a little bit being on those bad teams. But if you're like a cusp team, which I feel like the Warriors kind of are, like they could make the playoffs, like they're going to make the plan. And I think they could surprise some people there if they can get like Kelly Oubre stuff, then I think you should be considered. I don't think the most valuable player should mean the most valuable winner. You know what I mean? Like it's not
because I think that's how
Yeah.
Giannis won the last 2 years. No disrespect to him because he's still a good player, but like based on the best record in the East,
he won
MVP.
like 30 though. He was averaging like 30 and 13 last year. So
Man,
he was shooting 60-something% from the field. So I'm not even a Giannis guy, but I got to give that to him.
Right, I'm not either. In like, at some point, right, we have to acknowledge the fact that LeBron James, like, doesn't play as well as he always can in the regular season, right? Like, like was LeBron James the best player in basketball last year? Yes, but like, bro, didn't even like when you have times where like you're not the best player on your team, like in that specific game or in that specific stat category, like that doesn't mean you should be MVP just because everybody understands that you're the best player in the league. Like,
yeah, no, and I'm not saying that, but I guess in a sense, I'm just referring to that point because we saw Giannis in the past years. He chokes in the playoffs. No disrespect to dude because he can hoop.
Regular season award.
Right, yeah, I was gonna say MVP is a regular season award. It has nothing.
I get that, but I guess in effect, I hate taking the fact of looking at an MVP and being like, "Damn, you didn't perform in the playoffs.
That's why
your ass got busted 4-1 by the Miami Heat, and you should have blown them out the water."
Finals MVP, and it's straight. Like Bron earned Finals MVP.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think to someone like Bron, he don't give a fuck if he win regular season MVP. As long as they give him Finals MVP, he's fine with that because that's all he wants to get at the end.
He want to win the ship and hold that up.
Wait, has Steph never won a Finals MVP?
Nope, it was Andre Iguodala then KD back to back.
Hey, first of all, them giving that shit to Iguodala is the biggest joke in the entire universe.
Yeah. What was didn't they try saying it was the same case of like Kawhi Leonard? He locked LeBron up, yet LeBron still averaged 30 in the finals. Like it didn't matter. Like
LeBron averaged like I think they tried to say that Iguodala locked Bron up, and Bron I think averaged like 30. Like
that's what I'm saying because
like 30, 10, and 10.
Because that finals,
and they were like, yeah, he made such a difference on defensive end, bro. Made a difference. What? Let LeBron get 30.
You still like get him 30
every night. Like,
well, not only that, but LeBron did that without Kyrie and Kevin Love in the first finals. So like, of course, LeBron gonna put the team on his back. Like so. You ain't gonna stop him from getting 30 because like there is no other buddy on the team to get a 20 piece, like arguably. So defensive. Now, if Iguodala would average like 23, I may give him some credit, but I don't even know if it was like 15 a game. Was it? I don't even know. I haven't even looked.
Somebody go pull up the stats because for my book, Steph Curry got one Finals MVP for that shit. Because I don't even remember what happened, but it shouldn't have been Iguodala. I can tell you that.
Let me look it up. NBA Finals stats. Let's look. 2019, 2018. What was that? 2015, right? Was the Iguodala one?
2015
NBA Finals. I'm on it right now.
But I'll also say about Steph, right? Like Steph was okay, like letting KD kind of take the lead a little bit there when it came to it, right? Because Steph just trying to win.
I will say this: Iguodala did play above what he had been every. He
Okay.
averaged 16. He averaged 16, 6, and 4. But Steph averaged 26, 5, and 6.
Exactly.
Okay, so but they saying the reason why I'm reading this article right now on CBS Sports. So they saying Iguodala won MVP because of his defense on LeBron, because he held LeBron a monstrous series, finished the series shooting under 30% from the field, and was held to a minus net rating when on the floor. But
Look at LeBron
it don't
shit.
matter to the fact that you still let him average 30. Like
LeBron averaged 36, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists. The fuck was he locking up?
with only 2.9 turnovers.
What was he locking up, bro? That's all I want to know. What was he locking up, bro? If someone gives me 36, 13, and 9 every night, I'm not even gonna accept the award. I don't think I could. Now his percentage was he did shoot 40% from the field, which Bron's usually shooting 50 plus, but I mean, damn, he had nobody else to take any attention off him besides J.R. Smith and Matthew Dell. The second leading scorer. Bro, guess who the second leading scorer on the team was in the finals for the Cavs? I just saw that shit, and that shit just made me disgusted.
Who?
Timothy Mozgov was the second leading scorer on their team in that finals.
Put some respect on Mozgov's name.
Who was gonna take any attention off Bron? And I think what the crazy thing is. I think Mozgov got paid like 60 mil off that shit. I think the next year he signed.
And then he got traded the next
year.
year. Then he got traded to the Lakers for the next year.
The boy trash with a capital T, son.
And he was out of the league before that contract even really got going.
Okay, so I'm gonna give all credit to Steph for that first finals win, but at the same time, if LeBron have Kyrie, bro, even if Kyrie, Kevin Love, they beat the Warriors in that series. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, no offense, fuck a Kelly Olynyk for pulling my guy Caleb Love's arm out of socket on purpose. That shit had me hot whenever it happened. Caleb Love used to be my guy.
Now feeling yours go out of socket, Cobb. How bad do you feel that happened to him?
Mine wasn't as bad though. He really just grabbed his shit and yanked down.
He really just locked you in an arm lock and
foul. That was super duper foul.
And not only that, but Kelly Olynyk, not a little dude pulling it out. That boy is as big as Kevin Love, like 6'11".
He's probably bigger than Kevin Love, taller wise. He probably weighs more too. Skinny Kevin Love. Big Kevin Love wouldn't have taken that shit though. 30 Kevin Love, 31 points, 30 rebounds Kevin Love.
I know this is completely off topic, Cobb, but ever since I went home, bro, my sinuses be acting up. Damn fool.
That pollen, bro.
Yeah.
That pollen down south, bro. You're used to it.
Yeah, facts. So give me your top 3 for MVP.
Oh,
top 3 for MVP.
Let me go look.
Okay, I was looking.
Okay, I think I'll probably go. Okay, go ahead. Give yours first.
Okay, so I got, in my opinion, it's just like tier 1. It's tied. I can't decide between Jokic and Embiid. Both are they're number 1, number 2 for sure. Third, I've seen a lot of people list Luka. I know the Mavs are like a 6th seed or 5th seed right now. But in my opinion, I think Dame deserves some credit for MVP.
Wait, hold up. Blake, your mic cut out.
You said Dame.
Dame? Yeah, Dame.
It's
Can
out.
you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Cobb tweaking. I can hear you.
Your mic is messed up.
Hold up. Or did my shit go out?
Your shit went out, man.
Oh, never mind. My shit went out.
We got some technical difficulties over here. So, but
y'all
I think
wet on me too. And
I heard some Dame.
My shit, not my mic, but I think my headphones went out.
We're gonna get.
Just take the headphones out, son.
Hold on, G.
Hey, go to the bottom left.
I can't hear nothing, bro. I can't hear nothing, bro.
Go to the bottom left for the mic and the.
I can't hear you at all.
I'm a FaceTime him all.
Bro, how the fuck do I change this?
We keeping all this in too.
Cobb got a Mac over the weekend. He don't know how to operate it.
What's up, G?
All right, so here's what you're about to do.
Figured it out, G.
All right, bet.
I don't know if
we keeping all that in too.
Oh yeah, that's staying. This ain't getting edited out.
I'm good.
But so I seen people say Luka, but I think Dame. But this is my opinion. Dark horse. Listen to me here. Dark horse. Chris Paul or Devin Booker.
CP3.
Yes.
Listen, Nikola Jokic is the MVP right now. Point blank, period.
Cobb's a NBA twin. Is MVP. I
Put
agree.
it on.
He's
Put it
good.
on our mama. Speaking of Nikola Jokic, Cobb, please share the story about what happened to you.
Oh, okay. So, you want me to give my 3 first, or do you want me to?
Here, I'll give my 3 first, and then
Okay. Give your 3. I'll give my 3, and I'll tell the story.
I think Jokic is the MVP to this point, right? Are we all in agreement with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think if he holds the Nuggets to a high place with Jamal Murray out for the rest of the year, I think he deserved it. Unless somehow Embiid just goes on a monstrous tear.
Right. And I think I'm gonna also go JoJo and Dame. Like I think like regardless of how deserved it is or not deserved it is, Damian Lillard needs some more love, right?
One of the most, in
I
my
get
opinion, underrated guys. I think he's
get
very
I
underrated.
get he's in Portland, whatever, but like he has to be one of, if not the most underrated players in the league. Like, dude is legit, and he just gets no love.
That dude is the only other dude besides Dame or besides Steph that I would worry about taking one dribble across the fucking half court line to destroy your team.
He's yanking.
Him and Steph literally just decided after the All-Star game to have a competition of who's going to hit the game winner. Steph took his first shot. Dave said, all right, I'll pull one step from the half court line, and just gamed it. Nothing but net. It ain't like he's banking it off the glass. He's nothing but net from about 40 feet out.
They shooting free throws from 45.
All right. So my top 3 probably right now are I would probably go Jokic, Embiid, and probably Steph, honestly. I might have to go with Steph. I was Bron before Bron got hurt. Bron was, you know, Bron and Jokic were kind of 1A, 1B for me.
Yeah, because when Embiid was out, I figured LeBron was going to take that over, and then LeBron got hurt. So,
but I think my argument for Jokic is that he's shooting 42% from 3, and he's shooting 57% from the field. And I mean, he's averaging a little bit less. He's averaging 26, 11, and 9 assists.
And Embiid's only averaging 30, 11, and 3, right?
Yeah, Embiid's averaging 30, 11, and 3. So, I mean, they're basically the same rebounding wise. Embiid averages 3 more points, but Jokic averages 6 more assists. So you take those 6 assists, you know, and put 2 points on each. That's 12 points. So in reality, you can add 12 to Jokic's averages. You know what I mean? And those aren't all going to be assists on 2. Some of those are going to be 3. Like the points that he's responsible for are just so much better, and he's doing it at a higher efficiency than Embiid right now. So that's why I got to go with Jokic right now as my number 1 contender. And then Steph, just the things he's been doing this recent stretch, I think is made him jump into the conversation for me, honestly.
I just want to put some respect though on CP3 or D-Book, one of the two, because last year we're talking at this point in time, right? Phoenix is not really considered for anything. They're shit. They end up going 8-0 in the bubble run before the playoffs. Don't even make it to a playing game. Chris Paul comes. Obviously, they signed Jay Crowder too, but Chris Paul comes along, and now they're the number 1 seed in the West. I
Chris
think
Paul is a dog.
But I'm saying I don't think he's getting the credit because Chris Paul's stats aren't on the level of everybody else that is in this conversation that we've mentioned. I'm pretty sure Chris Paul is only averaging like 17 and a half, and his assists are probably like almost like at 10 a game. So he's only averaging 15.7, 4.6 rebounds, and about 9 assists. So about 16, 5, and 9. He's shooting 37 from 3, but 48 from field goal, and he's shooting 93 from the free throw. But I mean, his PER is 20.4.
Chris Paul,
you know,
the thing about Chris Paul is he's one of them dudes that has never won a ring, but he's not a loser.
Chris Paul not having a ring is absolute travesty. He is the one person in the entire NBA that needs to just jump ship and go to the Lakers or something and take himself a ring. That boy deserves a ring. He should have one, And he needs to before he
with the
retires.
Houston Rockets, they should have beat Golden State. If he didn't pull that hamstring, they go into the finals. I don't care what nobody
He
say.
needs to just go to a
I
team.
agree.
If he knows he's retiring next year, whenever that year is, he needs to go play with Bron so he can win a ship and go out on top because that man deserves a title.
Him and Bron are boys too, right?
Yeah,
Oh
banana
yeah,
boat.
I think
No,
D Wade Bosch and him all came. Chris Paul came the year after in the draft, but they was boys.
He ain't quite on banana boat level, but he's up there.
Well, I think he is the fourth member to the banana boat.
Is he?
Yeah, I think it was him.
think he
It was
is.
Oh yeah,
Bron-
it's him, D Wade,
Bron,
Melo,
CP.
and CP. Yeah.
No, D Wade was D Wade on it.
Yeah, it was
D
D
Wade
Wade, Melo,
banana boat.
CP3. Bosch wasn't on the banana boat.
Yeah, Bosch
Yeah.
was just a throw in my hand.
Bosch was
D
just
Wade, Melo,
thriving.
CP3, Bron. Bro, I remember that there was talks for a little bit that was like saying they were all gonna team up on one team together. That would have been so tough.
That would have been so dope, bro.
Even if it's for 1 year, bro. Even if it's them almost done like last year retiring, I would love to see Braun, Melo, and Paul all play on a team.
One more thing that I just thought of though, CP should have a ring probably. You know why?
Any of those years with the Clippers.
No,
And
they went that team wasn't good enough to me still.
okay, but he
You
just
know
passed
why?
Magic Johnson also though for assists. So shout out to Chris Paul going, I think like 7th all time in career assists or maybe 6th.
Fifth, I believe. I think fifth.
Fifth.
I think he's top
Yeah.
5 in assists and steals now. I think.
Chris Paul damn near a top 5 point guard all time. Just get
Oh,
out.
he
Oh,
is.
he
Not
top-
damn
he-
near. He is.
No, he is.
He just
He's
get
not
outshined.
fine.
He just get outshined by Steph.
Yeah. I think you can put Steph in the top 5. I think it's like him, Steph, Magic, Stockton. I don't know.
I say Oscar.
In there, Big
I
O,
don't know.
yeah.
Big O for sure.
I say
100%
O or
Big
J Kidd. I mean, they both up
Hell
there.
no. Big O.
I think Steve Nash better than J Kidd for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
agree.
Steve Nash got 2 MVPs. I'm just thinking J Kidd kind of like an overall all around dude. He could play D. He could shoot.
It depends
three
on
at
what
the end
kind of
his career.
PG you want, though. You want pure PG, you give me like John Stockton for
But
sure.
you know why? But you know why Steph should have one? It's
You mean Chris
because
Paul?
they vetoed that trade that would have
Oh,
sent him.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
LA.
They
they
didn't wanna see-
Kobe.
They didn't want to see him succeed.
If they had put him and Kobe, I think it was gonna be him. They still were gonna keep Powell.
It's gonna be
I believe.
him,
It was gonna
Kobe,
be
and
him,
Powell.
Kobe and Powell. on
But
one
yeah,
team.
they let James Harden get traded to the Brooklyn Nets.
Well, no, I mean it's a different. This is a different commissioner though. This was David Stearns doing
And
the
they
rest
didn't
of
wanna
the
see
team.
Adam Silver was still with David Stern though.
Yeah, but that wasn't his decision. I think it was David Stern was thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna keep all this shit in check," but it didn't make sense though because it was it.
I
the
think
year
I know
after?
why. No.
or-
So it was the year that technically the Hornets, I think, were still owned by the NBA at that year because they had no like verified owner. So technically, NBA had control over approving all veto and trades for the.
Yeah, but he wasn't even.
Hornets.
It was New Orleans, the New Orleans, because he was
Yeah,
playing
so
for
I'm
New
talking about though.
Orleans. I was gonna
Yeah, but I'm
say.
saying they weren't technically, they weren't like owned by anybody that year. I think because I think that's why David Stern like vetoed the trade, just because like he had to overpower that move because they didn't have like an actual GM to make that call.
Still foul. Still super
agree.
foul.
Hey, did y'all see? Speaking of owners, bro, I know I keep getting us off topic. Did you see Anthony Edwards making comments about A-Rod?
Yes. Did you see? He was like, "Yeah, I don't really know. I think about him and J Lo." And then
Yeah, and he was like, they broke up, and he's like, oh damn, or something.
and they're like, "Oh, are you sad for him?" He goes, "Yeah, he's my owner. I want to see him happy."
Yeah, I want him to be happy.
Bro, you see that sad shit A-Rod posted, bro? He posted like he was playing some sad ass song in the background. It was just like panning his camera over like pictures of him and J-Lo while he's listening to some sad ass music. I'm like, yo,
he on some sad boy hours
you
right
good, bro?
now.
He's on sad
Hey,
boy.
did you also see Anthony Edwards said that he could throw if he got his arm warmed up in a couple months, he could throw 100 miles
He
per
could be
hour
an
fastball?
MLB, yeah. Bro, that dude's a- that dude's a
Edwards.
comedian.
Anthony Edwards' confidence level is unmatched, bro. It's my
Did
favorite
you see the
thing I've ever
video?
watched.
He's like with Taylor Rooks. He's like, "Yeah, you need me to go out and play hockey? I'm gonna do it." He was like, "Even if you ain't never played, I'm gonna go do it. It don't
Who said
matter."
he could play on the PGA Tour? Never played golf before.
I wish I
Confidence
had
is
that
unwavered.
confidence. I wish I had that confidence.
But you want me to tell that story now about the
Oh,
yeah,
Jokic
go ahead.
story?
Tell, go
this
ahead, tell
is
what
a
you-
great little wrap up. I don't know if we're even done, but
Yeah. So I'm here back in Bethalto, and I go up to the Civic Memorial High School baseball game. My pops was up there, and me and Riley had gotten here or something, and she had just got there from her drive from Topeka, and we head up there. we go to the game, and some of my friends, Caden Clark and Brandon Hampton, are up there. Some of my friends from high school who I played high school hoops with. So I'm sitting there just talking to them and stuff, and they coach this Illini baseball team, like a youth baseball team here, that they help coach a 10 and under team, I think is what it is. I think that's the age, maybe not. But they coach these little kids who, it might be like one of their first years playing, baseball, playing travel ball, not playing like T-ball or coach pitch. And these kids are running around, and they come up to Caden because it's one of his players, and it's talking to him, blah, 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 this and that. And he looks at me and he's like, "You're big. You play in the MLB?" And I said, "Nah, I don't play in the MLB." And Caden's like, "Nah, he plays in the NBA. You didn't know that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I play in the league. Like, I play in the NBA." The kid's like, "Oh, really? What's your name?" And Caden's like, "Nikola Jokic. You ever heard of him?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, I don't know. Like, you could see like the wheels probably turning. He might have heard on the Sports Center or something. You know what I mean? He's like, "I don't know if I've ever heard of him." And he's like, "Can I see a picture of him?" And Caden pulls up a picture of Jokic on his phone and shows it to him. And he looks at the picture, looks at me, looks at the picture, looks at me, just takes off running. Like, where the fuck is this kid going? He goes to his mom, tells his mom, and tells like his best friend, like, Nikola Jokic is over there, like NBA player. Like, we gotta go see him. So then they sprint back, and him and his friend are just standing there looking at me like this. And like the one kid's like nervous, smiling, like you know what I mean? Like doing some little kid shit, like just standing by me. And I'm like, "What's good with you, bro?" And he's like, "What's up?" He's like, "Do you really play in the NBA?" I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, and he's like, and Caden's like, "Yeah, this is him." Like, shows him the picture. He's like, "Yeah, that's awesome, blah, blah, blah." And then the kid just like wants to stand by me the rest of the time, not even saying nothing to me because he's like too nervous. He's just standing by me. And then I couldn't even do it any longer. After like 10 minutes, I was just like, I looked at the kid and I was like, "Man, I don't actually play in the NBA. Like, that's not me." I was like, "I do play professional basketball, but I play in Europe. Like, I don't play in the NBA." And he's still looking at me like, still doesn't even believe me that I told him it wasn't me. and I'm like, and he's like looking at me. I'm like, "Yeah, like that wasn't me. Like, we was just joking with you." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "You play
So
basketball, right?" I was like,
disappointed.
"Yeah." But bro, he was so hyped, bro. He looked at the picture, looked at me, looked at the picture, looked at me, and this motherfucker was like, "That is him, I think." And he just took off running. Bro. And he was like, and then once I told him it was a joke, like the kid, he like he thought it was funny or whatever. And he's like, "You did look like him though. Like, you do really look like him." I don't even think I look like him that much though. My nose isn't big enough, I don't think.
Well, at least you could grow a little bit of facial hair. I ain't never seen to do with a patch of hair at all. But
I can grow some bad facial hair. Nothing good's
Dang.
coming out of here.
Join the
gotta
family.
catch up a little bit. At least Kaleb got something on his face. Tim got the OG photo though. Tim's photo of him with the mustache back in the day with the mullet.
Super
Undefeated.
tough.
Pop stay with the goatee.
No facts. So the last little thing I had, just a little side off topic conversation. Well, two little things. I heard this the other day. I thought it was funny as hell. Did the New York Knicks Monstar the New York Yankees talent this year for record wise? Because I heard the Yankees are shit. I have not watched a single game yet,
Garb.
but
They're trash, and I love to see it.
I've heard their garb, but I've heard, obviously Julius Randle's like balling out right now. Most improved player, like carrying the Knicks on his back to 8 straight wins right now. They're gonna make the playoffs. So that, and then did you guys see the Mortal Kombat first 7-minute clip yesterday that dropped?
Nah,
No.
I didn't see that. I'm not a big Mortal Kombat guy. Like, I'm a
Me
video
either.
game guy, but I've never been a Mortal
It don't
Kombat
matter
guy.
if you're a Mortal Kombat fan or not. I saw
like a preview. I saw a commercial for it on TV, and it did look
Okay.
hard though.
You said 7 minutes?
They posted the first 7 minutes on YouTube.
I don't got 7 minutes of time, bro, to watch that. Not for
We
me.
just
Yeah,
spent
son,
We
you
just
got
spent
7
about an
minutes,
hour
bro.
talking right now. Watch that 7 minutes.
You take 7-minute shits. You take 7-minute shits. You can pull that shit up on the toilet.
So so
Don't tell me you
I
got
gotta
7
watch
minutes to watch a
TikTok.
clip.
I gotta watch TikTok.
Can't nobody ever tell me they don't got 5 to 10
7
minutes to watch
minutes.
something, because I know you're on the toilet for 5 to 10 minutes a day.
I watch TikToks on
At least.
see, you can spend the 7 minutes instead of watching dumbass TikToks and watch the Mortal Kombat. Okay.
I'll look it up because it could be a good movie.
Fired up, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it for you, bro.
Okay, just watch the 7 minutes. So it's basically like obviously Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Like it's like the first 7 minutes of like the
Caleb
movie,
don't know
like,
who that is. I almost guarantee it.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Well,
They're like the main Mortal Kombat guys. Like you can choose them to fight with and stuff.
So
is Mortal Kombat the like choose your character?
Yeah,
No,
and it's like that's
actually Super Smash Bros.
No. So Mortal Kombat's the finish him. And then
See, I was thinking of the right thing. I just said the wrong.
Yeah. So with the Mortal Kombat though, definitely check it out. I want to hear you guys' thoughts after the show, because it comes out the 23rd, so it comes out Friday morning, on HBO Max, movie theaters. But, with the 7-minute clip, what was I gonna say? Damn it! Hey, y'all got me off topic now. I was about to say 7-minute clip. It's on HBO.
Let's go back to the New York teams. First of all, I love to see the New York Knicks succeeding because of it's such a historic franchise and such a values franchise and a historic arena. And
James
I
Dolan is
like
a trash ass owner. He need to get fired.
Yeah.
He need to lose the damn team.
He might be a garbage owner, but I do like to see the team be successful just because I think it's better for the game of basketball, if those big
I agree. I'm just giving side thoughts. James Dolan's a piece of shit. So
yeah, but also with the Yankees being so terrible right now, I mean that just brings joy to my heart. That just makes me the happiest man in the world, honestly, because I have never liked the Yankees ever in my entire life. So I know Caleb's an A-Rod fan, so maybe he liked the Yankees at one point in his life, but I've never liked them. So that makes me incredibly happy to see them doing poorly. What about you, Caleb?
So I'm trying to find a video. Like this was gonna be way funnier in my head. This is what's gonna happen to the Knicks whenever they get to the playoffs or whatever. If y'all don't just give me 1 second here.
Playoffs?
I don't think I've seen that video.
What we thought they were.
We
played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in preseason? Like us, boom.
Or we thought they were.
Played 3 quarters. They're big.
Hey, they are what we thought they were, right? They're gonna get to the playoffs and go probably. In AAU terms, 0-2 barbecue.
0-4 barbecue.
Yeah. In AAU terms, 0-2 barbecue. NBA playoff terms, 0-4 barbecue. They are who we thought they were. The Knicks ain't gonna do nothing. But I'll say the same thing about the Yankees, right? As St. Louis Cardinals fans, for all intents and purposes, the second greatest franchise in MLB history. All you hear about is people say how the Yankees are better and they have more World Series. And you know what? They bought their wins for so long. It's good to see them get some karma and not win, right? So, I mean, I'm good with it.
But at the same time, we could be seeing they are who we thought they were.
They could turn around real quick,
to where they could turn around the whole season.
62 games is a long season now.
And not only that, I mean, shout out to the Royals. I don't watch baseball much, but hey, they kind of lead the division right now.
At one point, they were I don't know if they still are right now, but
them and Dodgers were the only ones to not lose a series, right?
Not lose a series. The Royals had split some series, and the Dodgers had won all of their series. But
hey, so who's MLB? Who's World Series champ? Is the Dodgers going back to back with Mookie?
Dodgers got too much talent, too much pitching.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Dodgers are going to win for sure.
But I would like to see
because Trevor Bauer got sent there last season, right? Off season.
Yeah, he signed with the Dodgers, so their starting rotation goes Clayton Kershaw, Trevor Bauer, Walker Buehler.
Do they still have what's his name from
Julio Urias, I think, is in there, and then I don't remember who their fifth guy.
Who's the dude that used to pitch for the Red Sox? Do they still have him in there?
David Price.
Yeah, is he still?
They've got him. They've got him coming out of the pen, I believe. I think he is. Did he ever win a Cy Young or no?
I think so. I mean, they got 3 dudes that are gonna are legitimate Cy Young candidates though, in Bueller, Trevor Bauer, and Clayton Kershaw. Like those are legitimate Cy Young candidates.
You see the guy for the Twins that pitched at like 50 mile an hour, but he
threw a little eephus.
Yeah,
tough. But you got to look at the Padres are also in that same division, and
Their pitching staff's OD.
they went out.
They
and
got the Blake dude from Tampa, right? Tampa Rays, that
Yeah,
Blake
they-
guy.
Yeah.
They picked up Blake Snell, Yu Darvish, and Joe Musgrove, who were all number one pitchers on their team last year. And so they literally have 3 number ones along with Denison Lamet. And then I think Mike Clevenger's hurt right now. But if they had him, I mean, you're looking at probably the best.
They got some hitting power
They got
too.
one of the best pitching prospects in all of baseball.
The number one pitching prospect in all of baseball.
Well, they got
sucks
some
for
hitting
him, you
power
know.
too, don't they?
You said what?
They got some hitting power too, don't they? They got
Machado,
Hosmer,
Tatis.
Machado, Tatis.
Yeah, Hosmer had a resurgent year last year.
I mean, the NL West, like, there'd be some
That
fireworks.
might be the strongest division in baseball, I'd say.
See, this is good for the pod because I don't ever follow enough baseball to shoot the shit with it. So like I can just like put my
Hey,
2 cents into who
start
I
playing the
think.
show. You'll follow baseball way.
Hey,
more.
you know I'm about to get on the show again. I just got to get the newest edition. It's
May as
been-
well. It's free on Xbox. I'm gonna do a quick MLB The Show 21 promo. MLB The Show. If you want to sponsor this podcast, feel free. But I'll promo your game. If you're on Xbox right now and you're thinking about playing MLB The Show 21, go ahead, get it on Game Pass and get on ranked seasons so that hopefully I can match up against you and beat your ass.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, I definitely appreciate the chat. I think it's about time for us to go. I know we all got long days tomorrow, so we'll
Ain't
cut
got
this
to-
off.
Well, don't say we all. We know Cobb ain't doing shit.
Yeah, you're right. We the only ones. I got to be at
I
work
got a
again
long-
in the morning. I know you got to work. I know Cobb about to wake up, go work out, maybe go rehab the shoulder, and that's about
I've
it.
got
Play with Tebow.
I've got a long night still ahead of me.
Right.
Yeah, you got to play the show, play with Tebow in the morning, and then sleep your ass in.
I gotta
That's-
be
that's what we
at
got.
work. I gotta be at work in 7-8 hours, and
What time
Cobb
you
gotta
gotta be
be
at work?
in
time you
7
gotta
or
be at
8 hours. Cobb damn near be just going to bed.
What time you got to be at work?
Yeah, I gotta be at work at 7. I'm working 7 to 9 tomorrow.
I'm a little
Okay,
tired.
I gotta be at work 8 to 4 tomorrow, so a little bit lighter.
That's a
day.
shorter day for you. Your day's usually long.
Yeah, next week gonna be long. I gotta work them 4 10-hour days, boy, so I can get them wisdom teeth pulled.
Shit.
Tragic. Can't take no vacation.
Shit.
Broke boy hours. So
All right.
all right, boys. Appreciate
All right, y'all.
That's it. Peace.